Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric here with Iraq Veteran 8888. We got some more 2A news for you here today, and this comes right out of GOA. Big shout out to Eric Pratt and all the folks at GOA, really good group of people. I say that. I am the Georgia State Director. I might be a little bit biased, but these guys are always doing a great job. And if you haven't joined GOA, make sure you sign up. You can find a link in the description box below. If you use my link, they'll know I sent you. I receive no money off of those signups. I refuse to take any money from them in that regard. All of that money goes directly to the fight. So make sure you join GOA, especially if you're in Georgia. We want to bump these Georgia numbers up. Let's get into this. Hundreds of Virginians have had firearms confiscated through red flag laws. All right, so this is getting back into some of the red flag laws. And as you remember, Virginia did codify and make into state law, having red flag laws as a law of the land. So we're going to kind of look at that landscape now. It's been, I think, a couple of years. So let's have a look at it here. Hundreds of Virginians have had their guns confiscated from them through red flag laws since those rules went into effect more than 2 years ago, according to data in the Virginia Firearms Transaction Center. Red flag law allows police to seize firearms from a person if a judge deems him or her to be a threat to himself or others, even if that person has not been convicted of a crime, charged with a crime, or even accused of a crime. The laws passed the General Assembly when Democrats had control of both chambers and were signed by former Democratic Governor Ralph Northam. The legislation received staunch opposition from the Republican minority at the time. Virginia judges have issued at least 327 emergency substantial risk protection orders, which allow police to temporarily confiscate firearms to address an immediate risk. Judges have issued 257 permanent substantial risk protection orders, which confiscate the firearms permanently unless overturned through the court system. The data runs from July 1st, 2020, when the law went into effect, through August 2022. The data does not state how many guns were confiscated from the individuals. Eric Pratt, Senior Vice President of Gun Owners of America, told the Center Square that these laws are contrary to due process protections. Red flag gun confiscation orders turn our legal system on its head, Pratt said. For centuries, the standard has been innocent until proven guilty, but red flag laws reverse that standard into guilty until proven innocent because they throw real due process out the window, revoking someone's Second Amendment rights without a jury trial or right to counsel. Not surprisingly, at least a third of red flag orders are initiated against innocent people, and the guns which are erroneously confiscated can take up to 9 months to return. These laws have been used to disarm women, such as the case in California where a cheating husband used the state's red flag law to disarm his wife, who was a concealed carrier. Republicans have introduced legislation to repeal red flag laws in Virginia, but have been unsuccessful. Although the state now has a Republican governor and a Republican-controlled House of Delegates, the Senate has a Democratic majority. Now, I'll just say that, to be fair, and everything like that, I'm not saying I agree with the red flag laws, but the checks and balances and the separation of powers is one of the things that makes our government very unique. And when things go properly and go according to plan and are done in the proper way, which, can we ever say that ever happens? Maybe it does sometimes. It is an okay system, and that's why it's on us to try to change that system, right? Especially, that's why we've always said that at the state level, it's very important to make sure that you're being very careful about who you elect at the state level, right? Because it can have very, very bad connotations for you living in that state, right? So the people of Virginia need to step up and elect people that are going to solidify and protect their Second Amendment rights, right? Y'all have had it before, y'all can have it again, right? And look, the tides are turning. I think the attitudes are changing when it comes to the outlook on gun control, the outlook on firearms ownership, the type of people that own guns, the diversity of people that own guns, the, let's just say, political neutrality of people that own guns in terms of how important of an issue it is based on political factions, if you will. I mean, traditionally, most Democrats are usually anti-gun and most Republicans are pro-gun, but now you're seeing situations where many from both sides kind of take both positions, right? So Republican Party cannot necessarily be a litmus test for, oh, well, there's an R next to their name, so they're automatically going to be pro-gun, right? There's even Democrats that vote yay on pro-gun legislation or vote no on anti-gun legislation. And then, of course, there's many Republicans that jump ship and get on board with anti-gun legislation or pro-gun legislation, specifically at the federal level. But it's just important to kind of keep this in the back of your mind. You know, red flag laws, I think, are a terrible thing, and they totally throw due process out the window. They put people's lives in danger, both law enforcement and civilian, right? You know, imagine you're sleeping in your bed, minding your own business, and you don't know anyone from Adam, but they just kicked in your door, and you're half asleep. You know, it's the middle of the night and you don't know what's going on. All you know is someone kicked your door in. It could be a criminal or it could be a police officer, but you don't know. It's just dangerous to me to put people into that position, both law enforcement and civilian. It puts a lot of lives at risk. And right now with, you know, attrition being such a thing with law enforcement, I mean, law enforcement officers are quitting their jobs at an alarmingly high rate, especially in the cities. Right? The cities cannot keep police officers to save their lives. You know, maybe it's because some of the cops have a conscience and they go, you know what, they're asking me to do things that I don't feel like it's a moral thing I signed up to do. I don't have this moral fortitude to do what they're asking me to do because I don't believe in it. My heart's not in it. There might be that, of course. Maybe it's because they think that the departments don't have their backs. Right? And they're going to throw them under their bus at every opportunity. That's probably most certainly and demonstrably true. Okay, that very well may be the case. But I think the more far-reaching implication is they see the writing on the wall and they know that in the long term, if these crazy leftist policies continue, that this gun confiscation and these risk protection orders are only going to step up in frequency, right? And that, you know, they don't want to risk their lives for $42,000 a year. It just ain't worth it. There ain't no amount of money in the world that's worth the potential for that. I would really love to know more data about how many people have been hurt in these confiscations. How many lives were really broken and made much worse through these confiscations. I mean, it's a miscarriage of justice to deprive someone of their ability of due process. You're subject to a phantom court proceedings against a person you don't even know who your accuser is or anything. And that's a dangerous situation that we should never support in a million years. All right. So I wanted to share that article. I thought it was, you know, well, it's not good news, but at least it gives you an idea that, you know, they're trying to carry this stuff out. They want national red flag laws, right? Virginia should be a litmus test to show why we shouldn't allow them to have these discussions at the federal level, especially when there's so many weak-kneed Republicans who may see the merits in red flag laws, maybe who have even said in the past and stated that they support red flag laws. You know, we know which ones I'm talking about, right? This isn't exactly a mystery. Okay, so keep your heads ears to the ground on this. It's just important that we keep an eye on this sort of stuff. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Many more on the way. I can't wait to share some of the new stuff we're working on with you. You're going to love it. We will see you soon. Take care.